Hello, this is Luis Castillo, and here with another book, Build But Not Born. And if you don't know about this program that I'm doing, it is about bringing a book and learn from the book what can we apply into our business. It's like digesting the book and do a summary, but super summary. Ideally, I want to do it in within 15 minutes. So let's start right now. Oh, by the way, if you want to talk in this program about a book, please welcome. Let me know and we come together. Or if you wrote a book by yourself and you can give the nugget of your book, let's do it, especially anything we can bring to business. So this book is very basic if you're already in a business. However, there's some uh, learning that you're able to capture there, which has become very interesting. So I want to go kind of quick on this. So the book is a few things that he says. Some people they said that you have to be in love in order to sell something, but he doesn't say that. He said you don't have to be in love for the product or service you offer, but you must believe that has a potential. That's different from other books. And also, so there's some people like myself, one of my business, I have a company who does insurance, but that insurance has to do with line of credit. That's to move the account receivables. I, by ethical reason, I should not export or import or sell product because I'll be competing with my clients because I know a lot of secret from them. I know where to buy certain stuff at the lower price. So whatever it is in one account, one client, it doesn't go to the other one. I had clients in the same industry and people who work, they were employee from that company, and they don't know that I have both of them. So I have to be like the respect for each individual. So in my case, I do believe in the product. I know that has a huge potential to bring company to growth, but I I would say that I don't use it. So I have a lot of belief. It's not that something like you love. I love what I do. That's different, but not necessarily consume it. So if you get it, all right. So one thing that he said, what does it means to spot a good entrepreneur? How does he? What he looked into it? He looked that he worked in the industry. He's knowledgeable, a sense of reality, and the attitude. The myth, follow your passion or believe that you will achieve it. He say, be careful, might cloud your path. So what it means that sometimes we blind into something that we believe so much, and it doesn't give you the opportunity to open your eyes and learn something else, and perhaps you do something that you might want to change it to your product or services. And he talks a lot of, well, he doesn't talk, I mean, he writes a lot about the business structure, but taking the most important, he said, when it comes to liability and taxes. We don't want to go into that, but he talks about the LLC, about the C corporation, S corporation, but we don't talk about it. But he said that when you have to be more attention, it's about liability and taxes in your business. So in the due diligence, he said, the first thing that you want to find out, and we do that in real estate too, when I invest or when I do due diligence, the first thing that we ask is, why are you selling that? Why are you selling this product? Why are you selling this property or this, or why are you selling that business? You want to know the reason why. And believe it or not, during the due diligence, you're going to find out so many things that you'll be surprised. So he also said that the most important, as the other book, the one before, said the most important, the financial and the P&L and the balance sheet, of course. But he talked something very interesting, the turnover of the products. What that means is that I was talking just now earlier with a friend about that by coincidence. And he said that if you sell automobiles, how often do they going to buy an automobile? That's a completely different business that if you sell soap or if you something that they have to buy often. So the turnover of the product is very quick. I do receive in my business, in my other business, I do receive sometimes companies that they sell, you could say books. I mean, but they want credit terms 120 or even more, 180 days, and that's crazy because if you have a product that doesn't turn over often, you don't want to get involved into that business. So pay attention to the turnover of the inventory. Very important if you want to buy a business. It said also that the less predictable your company, the more difficult your life. What it does means is that you have to know where it's going, and you have to have done your studies, and you know what is going to come next month in income. If you don't know, and you're going to be suffering. I mean, basically. So is very important. So he also recommend to get a prenup agreement. Even with your partners, when you start a business, you have to put on a piece of paper what's going to be the percentage distribution at any time. The way he has structured 17 partners all around the United States before become public his company Paycheck. And the structure he had is that every manager managed 8 agents. And it was like the Navy SEAL that is a 6 and 1. He was doing 8 and 1. So, and he had all over. So there were no manager managing neither less or more than 8 agent. So he has a structure that way. So he said a statistic which is very important. And you have to be careful with whatever you do or whatever company you want to acquire. Think about what impact that company you acquire is going to have an effect with the technology. He says that 3/4 of the products that existed 5 years ago no longer exist. So if your company, you want to accommodate to technology, so be careful where you're buying. He talks about something, I believe, 1,000%, even 100%. And he said diversification and piggy banking. What does that mean? And this is something that you have to use in your business. And I have clients that at one time they were selling only to Venezuela. And Venezuela, you know, the risk of the country. So they had to close down. So I always teach my clients that diversification, and you have to mitigate the risk where you're going to places where there is high risk. It's always a way to mitigate. So, but you must diversify and go into other territories. Diversification in product, diversification in regions, diversification of so many things that you can do. And piggybacking does mean that, I'll give an example. I'm piggybacking right now the same clients because the profile of my client from one business are similar with the same profile of my other client. So I can offer 2 business to them, sometimes even 3 or 4 business. One very simple is the trade insurance, but they need the financing. But at the same time, the financing, you have to deal with the CPA. And the CPA, they know who like to invest. So if I'm in real estate, I'm looking for investor, I piggy banking like so many layers. So that's what you want to do. It's different from what other people think, that diversification, and they go all over the places, like selling one item that not related to another item. And you got to be careful with that. And so, and whatever you sell. And understanding your market, he said that it's very important because he said most of his clients, there were companies 20 or 30 employees. And he says that, believe it or not, the companies that are larger, 100 employees, the paycheck that he get, it was less. You have to know your industry. In my industry, it's different. When you go to large company, somehow the large company, they bother you less. than the small companies. So it depends. You have to know where you are and what industry you're getting involved. He talks about some sales techniques, and he says it did give you different sales technique, but one of them is that you have to learn when you talk enough and when you gave enough information. He talks one of his partners that he was selling here in Florida, and the client was asking what is the next step to proceed, and he was to keep selling and keep selling. You gotta talk less and listen more to your clients. Basically, that's what he's talking about. He learned from what this is very interesting. I like this part. He learned mostly on his business of what not to do from company who fail and not those company who succeed. Wow, I heard that on an interview by Daryl, the Success Magazine. He did an interview to many of people we know that are billionaires, and they say the same thing. He said that CEO, that's mean when you becoming or believe you are CEO, you gotta be less busy than the rest of the managers and work on the business, but not in the business. Obviously, if it's only you and someone else, obviously you're not in the position. But it comes to time in your life that you might want to be more creator than doer. And that's something you means that you have to delegate. And leader, he said, about vision, he said, create, sell the vision, execute the vision, and monitor the vision. So in other words, have the vision, how you go, and take action. He said he likes also use the pregnant pause. He says, yes, ask a question, and yes, quiet, he said. In sales, that's a famous clause, of course. He said that public image is a lot about what you do and what you said. I see many people in different industry, and I know their culture involved, and corporate culture and philosophy is very important. However, you got to identify yourself and behave according to who you're dealing with. And I was reading today, Sam Sell, he said that he could do it because he's Sam Sell. But he said he always wear blue jeans, and everybody else not. But since early time, I don't know the year, he always wear blue jean. Sometimes in our industry, you cannot wear blue jean. You have to behave because you're paying your dues. So you gotta be careful in how you dress. Public image is very important. He had a regret at the end of the book. He talks about the regret that he has in life. Was still alive, and he said that he was married 3 times, and he said that he did not put enough time in his life with his family. And he said that something interesting at the end of the book. He says it's not good to be successful and having no one to share it with. So you have to choose a time in life how much you want to do. Like myself, I'm still in the 60s, but I choose to balance that. And sometimes we forget how to balance family with work, and work more in creation and sell your image so other people can execute the business. So that's about the book. It's very interesting because I don't know if you guys know, but these companies like PHP, Primerica, and EXP, Keller Williams, and he had like generations, like the Navy SEAL. So he's manager who managed X amount of people, and that very interesting. So remember to give your opinion, And if you're willing to come by and stay with me for 15 minutes, you're welcome. Thank you.